On Conklin and Company are not necessarily those of 13 ABC. Now, Conklin and Company continues with Take 3, commentary and analysis from our panel of political contributors.
I'm asking you to rally around a set of goals for your country. Goals in manufacturing, energy, education, national security, and the deficit. Real, achievable plans that will lead to new jobs, more opportunity, and rebuild this economy on a stronger foundation. That's what we can do in the next 4 years, and that is why I am running for a second term as President of the United States.
Making his pitch for 4 more years, President Barack Obama, and let the race begin. 59 days until Election Day, and we felt after both conventions it was apropos we brought in all the heavy hitters from the Conklin and Company Take 3 panel. It's good to see Melissa Miller, Fletcher Ward, and London Mitchell here on Conklin and Company. 2 segments today. And Melissa, we'll start with you. The week for the Democrats. Go ahead and did they hit it out of the park? Double? A lot of sports analogies this week about coaches and who should be fired. But how'd they do?
I think they got a double or a triple, maybe a triple.
Okay. All right.
Some great speeches, honestly, some of the most memorable speeches. I think starting it all off, Michelle Obama was she did exactly what she needed to do. She was already well liked by the electorate and just I think did a great job. Bill Clinton's speech, I've heard Republicans tell me that they thought that was a great speech. They'll probably not vote for the Democratic ticket, but they loved it. I'm not giving it a home run. There was the platform mess and the chaos about the changes. Right, the changes to the platform that then were restored. I think that will come back to haunt the Obama ticket, unfortunately, for the Democrats.
All right, Fletcher Ward.
There were some great speeches, but I want to shift the sports analogy to touchdown. Touchdown as in the Cowboys and the Giants who played on Wednesday night during Clinton's speech.
Right.
And what I mean by that is the impact of the conventions has been lessened and lessened and lessened as the years go by, and there's so much more on TV.
Yeah.
The Cowboys and the Giants opening night of the NFL, right up against them on another network. So, you know, it's a tough night for both parties. You know, when there's so much other competition and how much impact these great speeches have, it's pretty hard to say at this point.
Yeah, I heard one of the pundits on radio talking about walking into a restaurant, 200 people in the restaurant, televisions all over the place, and they're all on the Orioles game.
Oh,
nobody had asked for the Obama speech, and this was the night the president was doing his acceptance speech.
and that's in the Baltimore, D.C. area you're talking about, too, right?
And I'm thinking, as I'm listening to the pundit, I'm thinking right along with him, why aren't more people tuned in? Why aren't more people interested? Has everybody already made up their minds?
Yeah. Well, we actually thought about doing that story the night that Clinton was speaking. We were going to go down to one of the watering holes here. It didn't end up working out that way because, let's face it, the NFL is king right now from a television perspective.
Well, from a ratings standpoint, they got a 17.
A monster number. That is a monster number.
And I must confess to really working that remote.
Yeah.
Trying to catch that.
Well, in today's day and age, though, you don't have to watch it. You don't have to watch it live.
No, you don't.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It almost doesn't matter how many people watched any given speech on any night. It's how many people see the sound bites on the follow-up news coverage of the conventions and how many watch them on YouTube.
Right.
And so I think people feel like I don't have to spend the evening watching. I'll find out tomorrow. And in fact, it's a more efficient use of my time, and maybe not for any of us who are either flipping back or watching very intently, but for a lot of Americans, they're getting it the next day from the news or from YouTube.
All right, London, let me ask you about campaigning after the election, because we had heard there wasn't a whole lot of bounds for Romney. 1 to 2 points. We won't know as we tape here on Friday, but President Obama goes out and campaigns in New Hampshire the next day. Romney gets sequestered or secluded to get ready for the first debate. Your thoughts on that he didn't hop on a train or a bus and get out there and try to ride the momentum of what may have been generated?
Well, you kind of wondered, where was the planning on that? Because he had an opportunity, if there was momentum coming out of the GOP convention, to just jump right on that. He had the entire weekend to really make some hay. And I think that the Obama campaign really is feeling the energy from the campaign. He's right out there. And of course, the word came out that Bill Clinton will be in Ohio next week to build up the excitement from his speech to keep going. Ohio and Florida.
Right, right.
You know, going back to Clinton, I think one of the things that we're going to see going forward, and one of the things that I think the Republicans realize they have to deal with is that, you know, it's one thing for Romney to say we're going to cut taxes, but to talk about cutting spending without saying where specifically we're going to cut spending. That was something that Bill Clinton really honed in on during his speech, and I think that that's something that the commentators picked up and that the Republicans are going to have to address, which may be one of the reasons for this planning session.
Okay, Melissa Miller, to speak to that?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Romney in his speech, he went about 2/3 through the speech and then he went to his plan and he gave the 5 points. But unfortunately it was like 5 quick bullet points and not a lot of specifics. And I think that the electorate wants to hear more, and I think that he then opened himself up for the very following week in Charlotte for the Democrats to say where was the plan. Now, some have said too that Obama's speech was short on the specifics, and at the soundbite at the top of the segment we saw the goals. He was very clear about different goals that were being set, but again, I think both campaigns moving forward need to do a better job on providing the details.
All right, we're going to have more details on Conklin and Company with Melissa, Fletcher, and London when we come back in just a minute. Take 3 is actually straight ahead.